Maria, good morning. Great to be with you.
For 2 years, you've been calling for a special counsel to investigate what has gone on with the Biden family and all of this money taken in. What can you tell us about the Hunter Biden investigation and where you see this going?
Well, the evidence of corruption is now becoming overwhelming, and we've seen in the last month the Biden Department of Justice actively leaking that it intends to indict Hunter Biden. And I have to say those leaks are troubling on three different bases. Number one, the Department of Justice shouldn't be leaking anything that is against the law. To the extent they're revealing grand jury secrets, that is in fact a criminal offense, and they're playing politics. They're not engaged in law enforcement. Number two, the substance of what they've leaked is that they're looking at Hunter Biden for drug offenses and tax offenses. Now listen, by any measure, Hunter Biden is a deeply troubled soul, a soul who has struggled with addiction his whole life. What is concerning about their focus on the drug and tax issues is it is very carefully walling off why this is a matter of public concern. If Hunter Biden was just a regular guy who struggled with addiction, it wouldn't be a matter of public interest. The reason it is a matter of public interest is there is significant and, in fact, overwhelming evidence that Hunter Biden was actively involved in official corruption with his father, Joe Biden. And that involves both Ukraine and the natural gas company Burisma that paid Hunter Biden $83,000 a month when he spoke no Ukrainian and knew nothing about oil and gas. And his father was actively doing favors on behalf of the oligarch who was paying Hunter Biden. And likewise, China, communist China, paying Hunter Biden and his family over $5 million, including, we now know, 10% for the big guy, 10% for Joe Biden. And the fact that the Biden DOJ is saying, oh, this is all a drug matter. Don't pay attention to the big guy. Don't pay attention to the corruption. Just make it one poor person struggling with addiction. That's highly concerning. And the third reason this is very troubling is I think all of this is a prelude to doing what Joe Biden and Merrick Garland want to do, which is indict Donald Trump. And they want to be able to say, look how even-handed we are. We indicted Hunter Biden. We indicted Donald Trump. We indict everybody. And that is politics, not law enforcement.
Well, this is just really well said. It's just extraordinary to me that we're supposed to trust the commander-in-chief on the decisions that he makes regarding our number one adversary, the Chinese Communist Party. And yet he has taken in all of this money, he and his family. I've said it from the start. This is a Joe Biden story, not a Hunter Biden story, because it was Joe Biden's time that they were trying to sell here. This is a very dangerous moment. How are we supposed to trust that his decisions are not compromised?
Well, we can't trust that, and it's why, as you noted, I've been calling for 2 years for the appointment of a special prosecutor. You mentioned my new book that came out this week. The book is Justice Corrupted: How the Left Has Weaponized Our Legal System. And it goes in particular and describes how, starting under Barack Obama began using DOJ and the FBI and the IRS and the CIA as political tools, as weapons to attack their political enemies. Well, when Trump became president, those hardcore partisans burrowed into senior career positions at those agencies, and they waged war against Donald Trump, both personally and against his administration. And now under Joe Biden, they are out in the open. And under Joe Biden, this is the most political and the most corrupt Department of Justice we've ever seen. We see the FBI storming President Trump's home at Mar-a-Lago. That's never happened in the history of our nation. We see FBI agents storming pro-life activists, machine guns drawn at the crack of dawn with their children crying. And I got to say, Merrick Garland has done more to undermine and damage the integrity of the Department of Justice than any attorney general in history. And that includes John Mitchell, Nixon's attorney general, who resigned, was prosecuted, and went to prison. Merrick Garland is doing even more damage. And this book, Justice Corrupted, explains how, and it walks through chapter and verse exactly what's happening and what we need to do to stop it.
Well, thank you for writing this book. Our viewers are very concerned about this, Senator, and you're right in terms of what we have seen take place. Look at the Russia collusion lie that was made up from an operative on the Clinton campaign. You think this politicization of all of these agencies started under Clinton and Barack Obama then?
Well, it really got bad under Obama. And if you look at, and that's what the book walks through, it walks through the IRS scandal where the Obama IRS targeted Tea Party activists, targeted conservatives, targeted constitutionalists, targeted pro-life activists, targeted pro-Israel activists. The book walks you through the meeting in the Oval Office on January 5th, 2017. Barack Obama was there. Joe Biden was there. The head of the DOJ, the FBI, and the CIA was there. Donald Trump was getting ready to enter the presidency, and they sat there and agreed, we're going to launch the federal government to go after Donald Trump. We're going to weaponize it. Has never happened in the history of our country. This explains what happened in Crossfire Hurricane, how corrupt it was, including a senior FBI lawyer literally creating a fraudulent document and submitting it to a federal court. He's been convicted, but of course he got a slap on the wrist and served no jail time. It also walks you through the lawlessness of the left's attack on law and order, on the Black Lives Matter and Antifa riots across the country, on the George Soros DAs that are letting violent criminals go. And those George Soros DAs are now senior officials in the Biden Justice Department. This is profoundly dangerous. The good news, Maria, we're going to have Republican majorities come January in both houses, and you're finally going to see some real congressional oversight of the FBI and the CIA, and it is desperately needed.
Well, amen. Look, you could be the chairman of the Senate Commerce Committee. That was my next question. Do you think the Senate will take the majority, the GOP will take the majority? You've been on a 17-state national bus tour. What are you going to do about it, and what are the most important races you think will be the clinchers?
Yes, I think we're going to take the majority, a big majority in the House, 30, 40, 50 seats. In the Senate, I think we win between 53 and 54 seats. I think we've got a great chance to win in Nevada, a great chance to win in Georgia. I think we've got really competitive races in Arizona and New Hampshire, and I think we've got a real shot in Colorado and Washington State. All of those are in play, and I think we're winning in all of the vulnerable states. I'm very excited. And when we have the majority, you can expect aggressive and real leadership and oversight.
Thank you, Senator. Good to see you. We'll be right back.